Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Week 5 8th grade recap for Mr. Hintz's Global Studies class. Behind me here is I'm going to keep going. Behind me is a flow chart of what we did this week in class. So it started the first day in class that students had this week, whether it was Monday or Tuesday. We went through a presentation called Brief History of North American Relations. And on that day, we created a note sheet. So the students had a blank sheet of paper, they divided it into 3 sections, and each of those sections had a purpose. In those sections, the students labeled the 5 themes of geography, and then from our notes, put examples of each theme of geography for the countries of Canada and United States. So it was a place where we could organize some of our notes right as we were getting them. When the students were at home at the beginning of the week, they were charged with taking the Canada's 5 regions notes. That was a Google Doc note sheet that I did a work check on later in the week, and that will be reflected in the grade book. The idea then is that from that note sheet, students were able to add what they needed to this sheet that we made in class. Okay, so that's why all these arrows are kind of funneling. This was another resource for students. This is also linked in Schoology, as is this and as is this. So it's all in Schoology, and from these 3 different activities, we tried to funnel them all into one worksheet, or to one note sheet, excuse me. And then as from this note sheet, we use the information to help us do the maps. Now the maps were assigned later in the week and are due by the end of the weekend. So the idea is that students are done with them on Friday, but if they need more time to work on over the weekend, they are allowed to do that. Now, this week, for many reasons, I'm sure that there was quite a large amount of work that was not done at home, depending on the class. And so students were scrambling a little bit at the end of the week when we were transitioning into doing our map. So seeing that, what I created in Schoology is a lifeline. So I created a lifeline for students. They were expected to do all of this in class if they didn't at home, so they were given time to complete those things. But when it came to transferring them onto the sheet, that's where some students got confused. So what I have in Schoology now is a lifeline. Turn my little thing here. There we go. So in Schoology, in the Week 5 folder, you will find this lifeline. It's huge. You can't miss it. So if students, if you're really struggling with how to get prepared for the map and what's going to go on the map, okay, I suggest that you grab a hold of the lifeline. Again, it's in Schoology, and it will help you get prepared for creating the map. So a lot going on this week. Students are working really hard. Just want to make sure that we're getting our stuff done. We're on top of it so that when we go into MEA break next week, we're in a position that we feel good about what we got accomplished. And then we can spend most of our time over that break enjoying ourselves and resting and relaxing for when we come back. Just as a quick announcement for everyone, I always forget which classes I tell, but starting on October 20th, I will be gone for 2 weeks. My wife is having our 3rd child, and she will be doing it via C-section. So the surgery, and I will be needed at home for 2 weeks to help her recover and to help with the things that need to be done at home. So Mrs. Dipri will be the sub. She's an in-building sub. She's great. Kids love her, and she'll be subbing in for me for those 2 weeks. It'll still be the expectation that students are doing school every day. And if questions arise, they should direct them to Mrs. Dipri, and she can forward any other questions that she can't answer on to me. My focus will be for those 2 weeks at home, taking care of my family. So that's coming up. Of course, if baby decides to come sooner, then there's no stopping them. So just wanted to put that on your radar as well, and I'll continue to communicate that as we draw closer. So thank you. Have a good weekend. Work hard. Do your best. See you next week.